What's going on, world? It's your boy Gemini Brown here, back with another episode of Nalo Kicking Knowledge. Today, we'll be taking a look at the moon in Capricorn and what it's like to have the moon in Capricorn in your astrological natal chart. So, let's get into it. What is the moon? The moon represents our inner self. I like to call it the seat of the soul. It represents how we emotionally relate to people, how we nurture others and want to be nurtured in return. Represents our home life, relationship with our mom, all that good stuff. And then we have Capricorn. Capricorn, ruled by Saturn, is originally correlated to the 10th house. Sign of achievement, success, disciplined. So the first thing you want to know about the moon in Capricorn is that we said like the moon is our inner nature, our inner world. These people's inner world are quite serious. And there's a degree of seriousness in them, because you got to think about it, guys. It's ruled by Saturn, the planet of discipline. So the person is identifying, within that way. And through my experience of doing readings and stuff like that, with the moon also correlating to the past life, these are individuals who, on one hand, are workers from past lives of really achieved and dedicated themselves towards, a particular thing, and it's just ingrained in them to pursue, success. Then you have the other who was restricted in some type of way that, depending on the aspects, you'll see what they didn't get to achieve that they may have wanted to. So all in all, this is a moon who has a relationship with success. So the next thing you'll see here is that these are people who have because it has to deal with the 10th house, they have the capacity to work pretty hard. And you'll find that they're goal-oriented people. Often the times when it's in a really prominent position, let's say a moon in Capricorn in the 5th house, this person may know what they want to do very early on in life. And so there's a quality of being ambitious and goal oriented, and if within that big three of energy, if there's another earth sign present, you can pretty much sure that these are people who are very security driven and are never without a job. So think about the Capricorn moon, it inclines a person to seek out, okay, how am I going to survive here, as with all earth moons. But the thing about the Capricorn moon is that it actually has a boss's mentality. So this is the inner self of a boss. The Capricorn moon, regardless of wherever the sun sign is and what you're perceiving, these people have their eyes on success and know how to go about getting that. So, like I said, there will be opportunities early on. This is the type of people that, even within their first job, they may have gotten a promotion. And it's going to be a recurring theme, particularly if you have planets above the horizon, about taking, advantage and really becoming a boss. So, then there's a dilemma with work here, right? Okay. There's a dilemma with work here, and how it's like a double-edged sword. And it ultimately has to do with balance and stopping to enjoy the fruits of your labor. As a 10th house person, I've had to learn this lesson too. But Capricorn because they're so security driven, and because we all go through this evolution early on in life, they will work extremely hard to provide themselves with the things that they want, and working is somewhat second nature to them. So what happens is, like I said, you could get that opportunity early on where it's like, man, I'm making really good money, and then earth signs have a tendency to become complacent. Now, if there's other cardinal energy, you'll find someone who's a lot more ambitious. If there's a lot more fixed energy, you're finding someone who's like, I kind of like it here, it's good. But the double-edged sword part is that you can not reach full potential. You could plateau at a supervisor position, but never actually become the owner. So there's that thing where, for some, particularly those born with Neptune and Uranus, in Capricorn and then also in Aquarius, it's going to be that clash in the values. What I love versus, you know, what's safe and what society expects. So, and then what results is that you can have a workaholic, someone who is a, you know, workaholic who, yeah, they're just a little bit too tied to that realm. So all you Capricorn moons out there who are on your spiritual journey, this is monumental. This is part of your escape in that balance. Okay. So like I said, lots of opportunities early on, opportunities for advancement. Really should aim at owning something in some capacity. Let's talk about the relationship with the mom. That's interesting. I really enjoy this. And if for those of you who don't know, you know, with my Lions Den Astro classes coming up, we'll be taking a look at like examining the relationship with your parents through your chart. And one thing with Capricorn moons, I thought mom works a lot through the pregnancy. And it's funny, I believe that really influences it. Because anybody out there who's ever had a kid, particularly if you've had your kid prior to, or you had your astrological knowledge prior to having a kid, you'll see that, like, if you look at your kid's moon sign, it really represents, the sun and the moon represent a blend of things that were going on during the pregnancy and all of that. But mom, Capricorn moons born to very career-oriented moms who they themselves just lead with a tough love approach. So I don't, just like I always say this with Scorpio moon, this doesn't mean you have a terrible relationship with your mom. Not at all, right? Mom could love you to death. You are going to receive it in that Capricornian way. And it could be a situation where mom or parents compensate emotional affection or replace emotional affection with monetary affection, giving you what you want in a material sense, but not in an emotional sense. And we find this a lot with those who have water energy around this position. So, with that, it's like, okay, and this is what I'm learning with chart. It's just gonna feel that way. That's just how it's gonna feel. But then when you to know thyself and become conscious of it is to then this the evolution Cap moons, acknowledging your emotional needs. You don't need to repress them because that's kind of what you got taught in childhood. Just repress them, it's okay. But nah, your growth comes from like I kind of be in my feels, you know? And acknowledging it. Remember, opposite sign Cancer. So what you'll find is career, partner-wise, these people are attracted to emotional types, the Scorpios, the Cancers. Pisces and Capricorn actually go really well together. They actually do go really well together. So they need people who make it safe for them to express that emotional violence. But you yourself, Cap Moons, have to not be so emotionally awkward. So with that, I will say this. Then with your relationship with your kid, you can do that. And even if you never get the opportunity to really open up to anybody outside of that, when Cap Moon becomes a parent, they are a bit more Cancer-like. Unless, you know, other things admit and then they actually don't show the affection to the kid that they need. But ultimately, you will. And with that, it shows you as a parent should really... It's so funny. One of my subscribers, I believe her name is Zoe. Yeah, Zoe. Has recently reached out to me and asked me to talk about like fertility in astrology and looking at it. And this is definitely something that come up, particularly with the Capricorn Moon, because remember, Moon, femininity, there's a lot that goes into this, but there can be certain hormonal issues with pregnancy with certain Cap Moon positions, but we will need to see more of it. But like I said, becoming a parent activates your Cap Moon to a sense of feeling dutiful and responsibility towards your child. And you can, more than others, the Cap Moon really gives their kids what they didn't have, because it's materially minded in that sense. But lots of potential here. Then the last thing I gotta talk about is like the depression aspect of it. These guys go through, you know, bouts of depression. And I don't have all the answers and I don't fully know, but from what I say, I think that part of it is like depression is kind of needed because it makes you tap into Cancer, the emotional realm. But then Capricorn moons, if they could get in tune with their emotions, they're actually really powerful because they don't get lost in them as much as like a water sign would. So I kind of feel like this is actually a difficult position for the moon in the emotional sense. But like with anything connected to Saturn, it gets better with time. Okay? But you got to tap into that emotional realm. And spirit, like I said, spirituality is a huge part of your journey at the deeper level. So y'all, it's my interpretation of the moon in Capricorn. Feel free to chime in. Let me know what you think. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, you can do so now. If you need a reading, click the link in the description. Send me an email and we'll set something up. So next time, peace.